What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Conversation Lab, the unplayable Star Wars Unlimited conversation with your good buddies, Mike J, and me, Dhaus. No Jim today.
No, this is the podcast of champions because show it off, David. Let's go. Let's go.
I had it ready. Somehow I knew you were going to ask me to show my champion. Mace.
So we actually kicked Jim out. This is only champions podcast.
He doesn't know it yet, but
Jim, this is your official whatever.
Yeah, he'll never know because he'll never listen to it.
Yeah, and he's not on Discord, so no, we're just kidding. Savage. Jim has not been let go of this company, not yet.
Not yet. Jury's out. All right. Well, we'll talk about store showdowns in a minute, but I'm enjoying these Star Wars icebreakers to kick off the show. I think it gets us in the right mindset, and so I was thinking I almost made an Acolyte related one, but I'm like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you guys want to hear about Acolyte and our reactions, we're actually going to do it at the end of the show. So those of you who don't care or haven't seen it can tune out, and those of you who do can stick around for our thoughts on Acolyte. But so this does not have anything to do with the Acolyte. It's just Star Wars related. So today's Star Wars icebreaker is this: if you were a Jedi, what would be your ridiculous? Since you are a Jedi,
thank you.
What would be your ridiculous but totally practical everyday use for the Force?
Oh, this is a funny one.
I have no idea. Let me think about it.
I've been thinking about it, so I can go first. Obviously, I had the question ready to go.
I think we asked this of like one or two of the people at the Content Creator Showdown.
Yep.
I think it was
John Leo was like what.
It was just that force throw.
Yeah.
John Leo's was the best answer for sure.
Yeah.
But what is my answer and what are your answers?
Everyday practicality.
Okay. Mine is super practical and it has everything to do with being a dad.
Okay.
But mine would be turning lights off in every room that my kids have visited in the last hour. Every dang day, all I do all day,
the lights are on, and
I just go and like, no one's been in this room. Turn this light off. Turn this fan off. Turn this light off. Flush this toilet. You turn this light. It's just like all day, every day. It's what I do. I follow their trail. My kids around the house. Where have they visited? And so then if I could just sit on the couch and just be like, and use the Force to turn off the lights in the house at all different times.
David, I don't know if you're aware that this exists, but this exists in real life, and you could totally do this. Very minimal effort.
Is this some like smart outlet kind of thing?
Yes, it's extremely easy. Just install smart lights in your house and press one button. They all go on. They all go off.
All right, listen, Master Set. Okay, I don't have money lying around for that. No, we are analog.
Okay,
regular switches.
Even easier then. Just buy the switches that have timers on them, and they'll shut the lights off after a certain amount of time.
Now that's fair. That's fair. But
how long until you think new houses being built will just all have smart timers and like you'll have your app like when you buy the house?
I think within the next like year or two probably.
Nice. That's kind of cool.
I think like houses that are being built now have that.
Should just all have smart outlets. Yeah.
Yeah, because basically Mike just gave me a chore to do, and I'm a Jedi. I don't want chores. I'm too busy saving the galaxy, man. Come on.
That's fair.
All right, what about you guys?
I would want the ability to. Is there a Force trait to read minds? Is that a thing?
Like Kylo.
Kylo did that, right?
Reading Rey's mind and vice versa, kind of.
I would want that.
Mind
so that I always know what my wife is going on about. Like I know what to say to calm her down, what's going on in her mind. So I'm like, okay, I understand what's going on. Okay, this is where you want to go eat. Okay, this is what you want to do. You want to go shopping. Okay, we'll go shopping. Like this is what you want for dinner. I'll get your water before we go to bed. Before I sit down, I'll make the popcorn, whatever. Yeah, they always wait till you sit down on the couch.
That's
like,
so true.
Yeah.
Can you go give me this?
Turn the lights off?
Yeah. See, yeah. Oh, lights off. See? All right, Mike.
Yeah, then I take out my phone, and then I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I could have flicked my finger and turned it on. You had to take out your phone.
But I didn't have to get up.
That's good, Jay. That's good. That's
I like
solid.
that one a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been stalling because I have no idea what my answer is. Maybe I want to be able to force leap so that I could dunk.
I like that. Force speed.
Because I'm like 5'6", and I have never been able to dunk in my life, and I think it'd be pretty fun.
Nice. Show up at the local park and
just
surprise
people.
Show some locals what's up.
Yeah. No, I would want force premonitions so that I had a heads up on what was going to happen in any given situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you just told a story to us right before we hit record of your son throwing balls at someone's head. So that seems very practical.
It would be really good for Star Wars Unlimited. Catch it out of the air.
Exactly. Yeah, I could play better.
You would know exactly if you play this card, they would have this card. You rewind. All right, play this card. They got this card. You know. My lights just flickered because it's storming really bad outside.
Ooh,
Did you lose me for a second, or
no? You're still here.
Okay.
Yeah, at least I think
it's just
so.
a little choppy on my.
Yeah,
right,
if I cut out, it's because of the storm.
We'll just keep going if we lose you. So, just make sure you protect that champion mace so we can recover it.
I got it.
You know. All right.
That way you can stay on the podcast.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll jump in. We'll talk about your.
What do you guys think Jim's answer would have been?
And sports related, like yours, probably. If I had to guess.
It's just funny because I don't really
so.
like sports that much.
No, what would Jim's be? That's so tough. I feel like it had something to do with like his house because he bought that house this year. Yeah. And I know he's mowing and doing a ton of work to it. So I bet he would probably use the force.
He would just use the force to do housework more easily.
Yeah, probably.
I like it.
Seems reasonable. Like if you could just stay on your back porch and like move your lawnmower, and while you're sitting there like with a nice lemonade,
you're there reading while the lawnmower is kind of going on its own.
Yeah,
I like it.
Seems good.
That's also a thing that you can do with automated technology.
I have seen the little remote control.
I mean, they have like a Roomba, but for your lawn. Like it's just like a robot that knows like the dimensions of it and mows it for you.
Yeah, like how does that not go terribly wrong? You know, like just. Well,
the topography of your lawn doesn't really change, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
I
Basically, we're all going to be Jedi in the future because we're all going to have smart technology.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right, let's talk about our weekend swoop. What have you guys been doing? What you been playing?
Well, that's a good question.
Did we play that much this week?
I didn't go to any locals this week.
Yeah, I've had a very hectic week, so I have not been playing very much.
All right.
Me either.
This is why people tune into our channel right here.
100%.
I've been theory crafting a little bit with set 2, but I haven't been getting too many actual games played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built like 100 decks already on SWODB.
Yeah. It definitely feels like that. We're in that sort of last month of set 1, and we've had set 1 for longer than just a typical 4-month segment.
We've had it longer, and we have like a smaller card pool, so it's like it's gonna feel the longest to the next set because of both of those things combined.
Yeah.
There's the least amount to explore.
Because sometimes I sit there and be like, okay, what's a leader base combination that I've seen nobody do? And I feel like I did that for a while, and now I'm like, okay, the only one I think I never thought or explored was like a Tarkin yellow deck. Like I never thought, oh, I'm gonna try this thing. Like
there's no way you haven't tried that with an ISB agent.
Hey, that TIE Defender
like
with some experience, man. That's no joke. That's no joke. Wait a second, that would be fun to build.
This guy, it's not good.
He just can't help himself.
A free resource to start, man. Come on. All right,
those are like the only two like Imperials in yellow. I'm pretty sure there's not very many good ones.
Yeah.
Chimera.
Hey, that's how you make it better.
Chimera.
There it is. Yeah. So I've felt that like I don't know. I don't feel a need to keep exploring. I built that Tarkin blue deck for just casuals. It's definitely not optimized. It's just whatever cards I had, so I've been playing that a little bit casually with some friends. But
you won a store showdown.
I did win a store showdown. I haven't talked about it. Yeah, so actually in our last cast, it was like the day before. I said, hey, I'm going to store showdown tomorrow, and it'll be my last one. And showed up. It was crazy. So I played at Dane's Games in Geneva, Illinois, and walked in the store, and I was like, oh man, there must be like some big Magic or Pokemon event, like, because it was just tons of people and not a big store. And I was looking around, I'm like, wait, all these people have Star Wars in front of them. I'm like, whoa, this is a much bigger store showdown than I expected.
Nice.
And so we ended up with 19 people in a not a huge store. So it was a very full experience. They announced at the beginning 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 4, it started at 4 p.m. So we all kind of looked at each other like, oh, let me text my wife and let her know this might be longer than I thought. But it was a great group of people. Felt like everyone was super chill. A lot of now that we're having lots of store showdowns, you're starting to recognize people and be like, oh yeah, we played at this other one, or we played here. So that was pretty fun. I took Chirrut Tarkentown. I texted you guys ahead of time. I'm like, I was like, do I just take Boba Yellow and just try to get this champion mace, or like, what do I do?
I really hope that Jay's face is actually frozen like that.
Yeah, Jay's face is stuck in the funny. I need to take a picture of this, because this is a great moment here.
David, are you aware of screenshots?
No, this is better. And I hate screenshot on non-Macs, by the way. It's so annoying. I don't like how they do the snippet tool or whatever. Did he text us? He said lights might be back when internet's back up. This is great. I hope it stays like this for our actual podcast. Oh, and he's gone.
There he goes.
He's gone.
There he goes.
So yeah, very first round, I got paired up with a good friend John. He lights out in our Discord, and he's been around. Just really friendly guy. Love talking to him. Great community builder. He plops down with Sabine Yellow, which I hate playing Sabine with Chirrut. It honestly feels like the hardest match in every time I play. But I do think Sabine Green is harder than Sabine Yellow. He wasn't running Jeddah City, and I told him Jay would be upset about that. So I'm glad that Jay's not here in this moment. He took game 1, and I was able to take the next 2 games. Later on, we did get paired up in the top 4. So when they did the top 4 cut, I was the 2 seed, he was the 3 seed. So we did end up playing again, which was just wild, crazy. I took some notes because I knew I'd forget. Oh, then I played Luke Green, was able to win 2-0. I forced through a redemption into his Luke when he deployed.
It's a good way to to deal with that.
Oh, good. We just laughed at the thematics of like Chirrut just throwing a capital ship at Luke with the Force. Then I got I paired up against Roger with his green Leia deck. I've played him in every single store showdown I've been at.
He's your nemesis. These
same decks, yeah. And he's the nicest guy too. Like, we have a great time playing. But he got me at the last store showdown, and I got him 2-0 in this one. So nice. I kind of realized that in that matchup, I actually have to be the beatdown. I need to be the aggressor, because his top end with triple U-wing, triple home one was just too much. Yeah. So I realized, like, I just need to go face. And so I went fast, and it paid off.
Nice.
Then I played Boba Yellow. We actually went to 3 games. The Boba deploy, I forced through a Luke and a redemption in games 1 and 2, which is that's just how you beat Boba. Sometimes you just pay 1 and discard a card and do a lot of damage. But just couldn't find it in game 3. Boba got out. Flip turn was too good. So lost my first game there. And then in the last match, I think he's back.
Jay's back.
I'm back.
There it is.
It's really coming down out there.
Don't worry, we got a great face. A great still of your face.
Yep.
Before
Perfect.
You were kicked out. Yeah.
Yep.
It's great.
It's gonna be. People are gonna love. Yep. Exactly like that.
So I was 3-1 going into final round, and was able to. I played against Lewis, who actually has a YouTube channel as well. A really friendly guy, and
Nice.
was able to beat his Luke Green 2-0. Kind of same way, just force throwing stuff into Luke, and before he can get shields onto Obi-Wan and all that stuff. So finished 4-1. Went into the top 4 cut as the number 2 seed. As I mentioned, I played against John on Sabine Yellow. Sorry, Jay, you missed this, but he was not playing Jeddah City. And
That's why I lost.
I told him, I was like, Jay's going to be really upset about this, John. I don't know how he's going to feel when he hears this. Yeah, but Yoda did a ton of restore. vigilance ×2, redemption healing is just it worked out well. So won that 2-0, then ended up rematched into the Vader green that beat me the week before. And so it's the one that ended up winning the last showdown we were at. Mm-hmm. So we got paired in the finals. He was actually undefeated going into this. He was 5-0 in Swiss.
Oh, wow.
And won his top 4 against the Boba Yellow that beat me. A guy named Eddie, really nice guy, really fun matchup. I won game 1. He had a play where he palped and he like erased my board, and then I played Luke in response to erase his palp. And I think that was kind of the game winner, honestly, there. Lost game 2. I think I tried to play a little bit too much control and ended up in top deck mode, and I just couldn't keep up. And then finally went to game 3. It was pretty epic. I ended up winning with a double Jedi lightsaber on Chirrut because I kind of realized that he can't really do anything about a Mega Voltron Chirrut besides damage. Like there's nothing there's no exhausting. It's just a lot of damage. So I had a double Jedi lightsaber with either forces with me or wing leader on him to the point where his Vader with Vader's lightsaber couldn't kill Chirrut because he was too big.
Wow.
So essentially I swung twice for the win with big giant Chirrut
nice.
for the win. So I ended up going 13-4 on the day in games. So
nice.
Long.
That's a lot of games. That's a lot of games. That sounds like a satisfying conclusion, though.
Yeah.
Swing in with a gigantic Chirrut for the victory.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt good, especially with, I mean, you guys know how much I've been playing Chirrut and how much I wanted to do well with Chirrut. So after all those games, all the practice, it felt good to kind of close out this showdown season with old Chirrut Tarkentown and call it a day.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Love it.
And by the way, I tweeted this. So like Star Wars Unlimited Twitter, I feel like is really active now. And I tweeted when they spoiled Rivals Fall, I tweeted something just sort of sassy like "Rip Chirrut," just as like a quick reaction or whatever. Not really meaning like, oh, he's completely done, but wow, the response on that tweet. I mean, there were so many reactions and quotes and people agreeing, and I just want to like state I actually don't think Chirrut has no play going forward. I think if they're going to spend 6 resources to kill Chirrut, you either play it differently. Like Chirrut is more than a Voltron; he can do other things. And if they're going to spend 6 resources on your leader that deploys at 5, I actually think you're mostly okay with that. So I think Rivals Fall is a great card. I don't think Chirrut has no play into set 2. I just don't know what it is yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So we'll see if you're still on the Chirrut train in set 2.
Choo choo. Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's talk. Since we're talking about set 2, I thought it'd be fun to talk about. We've gotten a ton of spoilers. I think we're up to 163. We just got Fenrau right before this, so we know we don't have the full card set. We don't have the full set, so we don't know exactly what we're building. But surely each of us is starting to think about leaders. And Mike, you said you've already been deck building 100 decks for set 2, and because the set's going to release, and then we're going to be at Gen Con 3 weeks later playing in some tournaments. So there's a level in which I think we're all kind of like, ooh, we want to
we got to get a little bit of a head start.
Yeah. So hit me with what deck are you excited to build, and tell me the theory behind it and what you are hoping to test.
You go first, Mike.
Me? I mean, okay. The deck that I'm most excited about is probably the most obvious of the decks that maybe people are building right now, and it's just Cad Bane with Tarkin Town. I've played it a handful of times, and it feels really good. I love Cad Bane's ability alongside Tarkin Town. You just get to kill whatever your opponent played on the first turn, and like it feels like you basically, it feels easy to get tempo early in the game and then like keep it and hang on to it for the rest of the game. So that's the one that I'm most excited about at the moment. Other cool, fun, I mean, I can dive more into that if anybody wants, but more cool, fun decks that I've thrown together that have been pretty sweet is Underworld Ray deck. After our video where we were talking about Lady Proxima and how Ray can buff Lady Proxima a bunch of times, I actually built it, and it's actually sick. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of that one. I've tried a little bit of Lando Yellow, and it's not bad. I feel like there's something there. Can be pretty explosive. And then yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about so many of the leaders. Like I'm excited about Bosk. Gar Saxon just came out. He looks pretty interesting. Like I'm excited to revisit older leaders and see what this new set adds to those decks. So it's a great time for the game.
I just keep thinking about force sensitive Lady Proxima.
Yeah.
and her Jedi lightsabers that you'll probably put in that deck to make sure that she's
gonna be the strongest worm.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, Cad Bane with Tarkin Town and all those pings, it does seem really good. I know they did that FFG live stream last week.
Yeah, Cad Bane just tore it up.
Yeah, was that Ryan playing? I think Ryan was playing.
He was playing
Cad
double
Bane.
yellow.
That's right. Yeah,
which is cool too. But I love Tarkin Town.
Yeah, he did some crazy stuff, man. I mean, it was just. I mean, between those pings and Bosk pings with events and I mean, it was like
that card is absolutely insane. That's like maybe I would say easily top 3 like best cards in this set. It's that insane.
Yeah, 1 cost event that does 3 damage.
Yeah, and like you can use the bounce as upside for you. It often is upside for you. Your opponent puts a bounty on your dude, and you're like, yeah, cool. I'll bounce the bounty, or I'll discard the bounty while I bounce the dude. Yeah, entrenched. Like there's so many good uses for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild. That deck, Cad Bane's gonna be death by paper cut. It's gonna be like, oh, what's 1 damage here? 1 damage, and then all of a sudden you're like, where'd all my units go? Yeah, I think you're right, man. Cad Bane could be a pretty surprising initial deck. I guess you wouldn't call it. What's his playstyle? It's not aggro, right?
It's mid range.
I would call it like tempo mid range, probably. It's like it's because you're using the pings to get ahead on the board while you're putting your opponent behind on board. It feels very tempo-y where like you're playing a dude and dealing damage to their dude, and sometimes you get to kill their stuff before they get to do things with them, and you still have your units on board. So it's like very much still a unit based deck, but I think it leans more aggro tempo than like mid range.
Yeah,
I think people are writing him off because Boba Fett is a yellow villain and he was like the best deck. And he's a lot more aggro mid range, whereas Cad Bane is a lot more like tempo mid range, I would say. Like, in my opinion.
When you compare with Boba Green, I think I agree for sure. I think Boba Yellow is still like,
I don't know.
Super
Boba
tempo.
Yellow is probably more aggro-y than Green is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Boba Yellow leans more like aggro tempo.
Yeah,
and Cad Bane is like slightly more mid range than Boba Yellow, but I think they're still tempo decks at the end of the day.
So I think people are writing Cad Bane off because he flips at 6 and it seems like he's probably not as good as Boba, but I think he is.
Yeah, I would definitely push back against that. I mean, Boba's still amazing. Like Boba's not going anywhere, that's for sure. But I think Cad Bane has his own sort of like niche carved out for him and is good against maybe some decks that Boba Yellow might not be.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
All right, Jay, what about you?
Yeah, so they just revealed, I don't know about just, but not too long ago, the Darksaber. So I really want to build a blue Sabine deck that uses the Darksaber.
Hell yeah.
You flip on 4, give her the Darksaber, swing, give your other Mandalorians you played on 1 and 2 experience. Let them swing in.
You were playing blue Sabine for fun already.
Yeah,
so
it's that one.
Yeah, this just slots right in there.
Well, it's sweet because you also have like the Mandalorian armor, which can shield Sabine and give her +1/+2, and
you also have like 2 low-cost Mandalorians in Blue Hero. The one that gives an experience, and then the one that gets buffed while he's got a upgrade. So it's like Darksaber gives him an upgrade. Now he's buffed and he's swinging for more. Plus, you have Foundling in yellow or in blue. So like you can
make
play
something Mando.
Yeah, you could play A-Wing and make it a Mandalorian. Swing with Darksaber and give the A-Wing an experience.
Yeah.
I love it.
See, originally I was like,
unless it says non-vehicle, but I don't know.
think it says non-vehicle, but I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. The other great thing about that is with Sabine coming on 4, you don't have to worry about stuff like Rivals Fall for 2 turns.
Yeah.
You don't have, the only thing is takedown, but like they have takedown, you just put the Darksaber on someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like I don't know. I think the Darksaber is pretty legit. It just feels so all in.
I think
On
sometimes
Mandalorians.
if
I
you're
don't think it
playing-
has to be.
if you're playing Sabine like that, I feel like it could be decent. Similar to like playing a wing leader on Sabine, but like more powerful.
Yeah, it's a 4-3. Like,
No, it doesn't have redeploy.
Oh my
I think if your opponent can't answer it, and you play it in the matchups where you know your opponent can't answer it, then it can be really strong.
I think even if I don't get to stick a Mandalorian turn 1 or 2, throwing this on Sabine for 4 extra damage is still really strong. Without any Mandalorians to give experience.
I feel like my hyperfoil disabling Fang fighters are gonna go up in
Yeah,
demand.
definitely lots of Fang Fighter stock going up.
For stuff like forecast. They're really kind of great for traders, and Darksaber is definitely maybe even more dangerous in that
I
scenario.
love that you can put it on put it in any Sabine deck because
Yeah,
you get
'cause
to
she's
ignore the
Mandalorian.
aspect penalty.
Yeah.
So like I could play Sabine
That's-
yellow
yeah,
with
that's a good point.
Darksaber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is sweet.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think that's
gotta
gonna
play
make-
a deck where Sabine gets the Darksaber?
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
right.
for
It's,
sure.
it's just right and just.
It writes itself.
I do love the theme. Is that gonna make Darksaber a little bit higher cost of a legendary, you think? Because it is so versatile and can go in so many decks?
I don't know.
I
It's
doubt
still
it.
an upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt
Like
it.
if
I
you're
would
not
put that
putting it
at,
on
like,
a leader,
$10 legendary,
yeah.
maybe like a $15 legendary.
It might be expensive because people like the Darksaber and the
Yeah,
artwork
it
is
is a
sick,
badass
so the
weapon.
high verse space is gonna look really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be expensive.
I actually didn't even realize that it was a legendary until you just said that.
It's gotta be.
It's the only legendary upgrade that we have, right? Ever.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Also, Foundling does not say non-vehicle, so you can put it on anything.
Nice. You can
It
put
is not
on-
heroic.
Admiral Mahdi can be a foundling.
There you go.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest example that came to my head at the moment.
There you go. So basically, if you're excited for set 2 so that you can keep playing a set 1 deck even better.
No, but I do want to build a blue Sabine deck that uses the Darksaber.
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect it.
Are there any set 2 leaders that you are?
Oh, set 2 leaders?
Fun.
Yeah, for sure. Like the Mandalorian's gonna be sick.
Yeah, he seems fun.
I've built
What-
a Ray deck.
What
That's
colors
just-
are you doing with?
With Ray, I did
Mando.
green Ray and just like slapped a bunch of restore units and low cost
Nice.
or like low power units that you can buff up.
Is this where we see Moisture Farmer with the devotion?
I put Moisture Farmer in the deck, coach.
Yeah.
Because it's a 1 cost. So on turn 1, you can actually give it an experience. And now it's
True. Now it's a
1/4.
1/5.
1/5.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1/5.
1/5.
Because it's 0/4.
with
yeah.
restore 2, baby.
He's getting ready to farm some moisture. That's right.
The only reason it slots in that deck is because like I have Yoda, who also has 2 power and restore
Yeah.
2, so now it's a 3 power restore 2. I have whatever all the other restore units are, Queel, and then obviously you got Concord Dawn Interceptors, which are sick because they're
sick.
Sentinel
Yeah.
Space 1/4 that you can make a 3/6 by the time you're done with it.
A 3/6
Yep.
that like blocks as a 5/6.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So do you guys? Because the biggest push against Ray being playable is that people are saying no, Tarkin hasn't done anything in set 1.
No, I think that's
And-
nonsense.
And
I said I think that's nonsense. I don't like that comparison at all.
yeah. So let's talk about it. Why don't you like that argument?
I think that we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast, I think, actually. But I think that you have different tools in hero than you have in villain, just straight up. So, like, buffing certain
A Yoda.
units that hero gets access to, like Yoda, or like the ship that's like a 2/3, the 1 cost 2/3 ship. Making that a 3/4 on turn 1 is, like, kind of insane. There's not a lot of things that can deal with that on turn 2. And then I think having, like, Rey having restore 3 on her own is really strong. And yeah, I don't know. I like it better because you're not restricted by, okay, I can only put Imperials in my deck because those are the only things that I'm buffing with Tarkin. You can put any unit in your deck, and you need some amount of units that have 2 or less power so that Rey can buff them. But there's going to be some bounce to hit. Like you might
Her
play some
flip
units that
side
don't
is just
quite
like
do
way
it.
better than Tarkin's too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, restore 3. Like that's so. If you're
That's a ton
already
of restore.
healing,
That's
yeah.
so much healing.
Because you're talking about on her, because I agree with you guys. When you deploy her, you're talking about a 6 damage swing because she can buff herself, which Tarkin can't do.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of Tarkin decks,
Yeah,
you just know, like,
yeah.
if I kill all your units and you flip
then
Tarkin,
Tarkin's just sitting there, not
whatever,
doing
big
anything.
deal.
Yeah.
And so it's so slow, but the fact that she can immediately buff herself and restore 3, you're talking 6 damage swing versus Tarkin's 2, you know. And so also, I think we've realized the Force trait is extremely
Very
powerful.
significant. Yeah, very significant.
It is not nothing. Force throw is a thing.
It seems like there's so many ways to build Rey in interesting directions. I can imagine Rey in every single color. Like you get Rey with red. You can play stuff like Force Throw because you have Force units and you have Rey herself. You can also buff your A-Wings, which is like seems really crazy. Like just that alone like seems really strong. And then you got yellow with the 1-cost 2/3 ships. You've got obviously all the nonsense that I was talking about earlier with yellow. You've got like green. You can buff your Bright Hope. You know stuff like that. And then
Here's point number
double
2
blue.
why you can't compare, because Rey can play ECL without being restricted to one color.
That's also very true.
Tarkin wants to do it. He has to play double green. Double green is not the deck right now. I mean,
This might be the
Palp is
longest.
good, but
This might be the longest we've ever recorded without mentioning ECL.
yeah.
We're like 30 minutes in, guys. Way to go. Way to go.
Pat ourselves on the back.
This is the conversation lab. Let's not forget. That's a good point, though. It does give her
very true.
access to a wider range of units, both because it's not restricted to Imperial or Rebel or whatever. It's just, anything less than 3.
If Tarkin was red, he would probably be better
I agree.
because you could run ECL and he comes out on 5. He can steadfast on that same turn.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I like Rey a lot, especially because I've been obviously playing so much blue hero with Chirrut. Part of me just immediately goes, it changes the Rebel package, the Fleet Lieutenant Wing Leader stuff, but you could easily fill this out with other things, I think, that make it better. And in many ways, it plays the A-Wings, it plays the Sabines even, that you can immediately buff. Just feels really good. I do think we could see maybe a little bit more play of like regional governor.
Oh yeah.
Just because, instead of having a 1/4, ban, you all of a sudden you have a 2/5. Feels a lot better when things like Bosk or Boba Fett come out and hit for 4.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where he's also a Force unit, so Force throw, baby.
we said that like 60 seconds ago, but it's fine. You weren't listening.
I think that's a stronger trait than Imperial. So
Much.
Yes.
in other words,
I don't think there's any disputing that.
in other words, you can't compare Tarkin.
There you go.
Yep.
Good stuff. Also, I think if you run Rey yellow, you could put Grogu and then throw a Jedi lightsaber on Grogu and just wreck
I mean,
people.
that sounds pretty. Well, I was tempted to put Grogu in the deck that I had, but I mean, maybe it's fine. But like, you're just using Grogu for his stats at that point as a 0/5. You're not like getting use out of his ability because you're not attacking with him.
Yeah.
And there's not
Which
that
feels a
much.
little
Well,
Force
unless they
synergy.
lane dodge you and go into space, and
Yeah,
then
but if
could
you put a
slit it.
lightsaber on Grogu, then you want to hit them in the face with it.
Oh, for sure. But I think just having if you're playing against aggro and they don't like lane dodge you, like Grogu can just melt a unit every round.
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
take 1
that's true.
damage a turn. He's got 8 health, so he's a 3/8, and he -2s then before he hits. So it's just like on the second turn, you've got this like just unit eraser basically.
Yeah, he has a very durable force unit for sure. That you can play really early.
As he should be. All right, any other decks you want me to talk about mine?
Yeah, talk about yours.
Okay, I really like Hero Boba. The more I mess around with Hero Boba, the more I like start building decks, the more interesting I find him. Mm-hmm. Because for those who are listening, maybe you don't remember, but this is the one. He's green. When you play a unit that has one or more keywords, that's anything in basically red, you can exhaust the leader and if you do, give a friendly unit +1 for this phase, which immediately, if you think about Ambush and Sentinel specifically, those are just amazing buffs. And then on his deploy side, each other friendly unit that has one or more keywords just gets the +1/+0 passively. So I have been tinkering with a yellow version of this, where I'm just jamming basically everything with ambush and sentinel.
Yeah,
like
makes
just
sense.
what if every card had, and you can easily make this deck where every single unit has a keyword, so every single time you're playing something you get that passive buff. Like they even they spoiled that 2-cost Cloud Rider. It's the yellow unit. It's a 3/1 with ambush. So
yeah,
theoretically,
it's a 4/1. That's
yeah, it's sort of like on the ground side. It's a 2-cost 4 damage thing if you need it to be.
yeah, that's strong.
Some of the stuff like modded cohort I don't like in general, but it's basically a 4-cost 5/4 with ambush.
You just don't like it because it's the Power Ranger card.
I really hate that, honestly. I really do. Little things like playing Chewbacca with Sentinel as the unit like feels really great because you buff them to 4, so if they attack, it's hurting them even more so.
I just want to know who at Lucasfilms was like, oh, this guy made Spy Kids. We got to get him in Book of Boba Fett as a director. Give him an episode. And he made the most Spy Kids episode I've ever seen of Star Wars anything. I want to know who thought that was a good idea.
And like Cad Bane could have been
know.
in so many more things.
I don't mind the Cad Bane
I don't mind
stuff.
that he died there. I thought that
Like,
was fine. He's
It
been in
was
so
cool to
many
see him
things
in
already.
live action. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm glad he's dead.
I know, but to see him in live
Good
action
riddance.
was so. I don't know.
Yeah, it
love
was
that.
cool.
That
It was cool.
that pretty
If they
sweet.
had no plans of doing more stuff with him past this point, then it's like, what does it matter anyway? Because they probably weren't going to do anything else with him in live action.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's fair. Other fun stuff like Enfys Nest, they spoiled that has ambush, and then when a friendly unit is attacking with ambush, the defender gets -3. So now you're
Yeah,
like
that seems nuts.
doing more
That seems real
damage, and you're minusing them. So good. The Ozatuk Liberator gunship in yellow has ambush that could kill a Falcon now because it gets the buff up to 4.
Marauder, that ship's
You
pretty
could
good.
you could even like I have timely intervention. I think I'm just gonna love timely intervention. I mean, having a card to give something ambush feels great, but being able to do that with Steadfast Battalion, because it's 1+5 at 6, so it's on Boba's flip turn. You could do this, so you could hit for even more with Overwhelm. So just I don't know. I've really enjoyed it so far. Even if it's to buff a Sentinel and make it even harder for them to get through, it just I don't know if yellow's the right color, but I just love all the ambush. So we'll see. That's what I'm excited to build. And
Cool.
I do want to build Bosk. I just haven't messed with it yet.
But yeah,
do
Bosk
too.
seems really fun.
In every
And
game
really
I've ever
strong.
played of Star Wars, I've always tried to get Bosk on the table. I don't care what it is, just Star Wars in general. I love, I don't know, it's hard. It's weird to say I love his character because he's actually kind of like just a dumb, like
Lizard.
aggressive jerk bounty hunter that rips people to shreds.
What I will say is that there are more heroes or leaders in this set that I look forward to trying to build than not. So like,
Yeah.
obviously like Hondo is like Hunter is like Bo-Katan I'm kind of on, but like all of the other ones I'm like, yeah, Garth Saxon seems really cool. Kira's super unique. Bosk has a cool thing. Finnick given
Yeah,
ambush
she
for
seems
one
wild.
seems good. Like all of them, Kylo, I'm just like, these are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like the leader designs in this set are really cool and really unique, and I think shows. I mean, we have a lot of leaders now. By the end of this set, we're gonna have 36 different leaders, and if they maintain this pace, it's gonna be tons of leaders in whatever the standard cycle ends up being or whatever. There's gonna be so many options, so it's cool to see them exploring unique ideas like this because you want a lot of variety when it comes to leaders because it makes the decks feel more unique and interesting. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of really unique leaders in this one compared to like set 1 had a lot of leaders that were just like kind of generic.
Yeah, like
Not that they
Krennic
weren't
or-
fun, but it's like Sabine, you deal 1 damage. Tarkin, you give an experience. It was like a lot of just very kind of simple, I guess I would say. Not generic, but like just very simple abilities.
yeah,
I think there might have
makes
been one
sense
or
for
two.
a set one.
Like Palpatine was probably the most complex and
Yeah,
harder
Palpatine
to
or Han maybe.
figure out how to use. Yeah, Han was definitely one. But yeah, I look forward to these.
It'll be interesting to see the swerve of like we'll all start playing set 2 leaders. and then eventually tournaments will start happening. Then people will go back to set one
leaders that are
to see
powerful.
which ones got better.
Yeah.
But it is going to be wild just thinking about all the things you could possibly run into at a tournament. Even just building decks now, in many ways, the decision trees are like, oh my gosh, I could go
it's huge.
this way, I could go this way. Like, I don't know.
It's going to be so much harder to land on a deck list now, and so much harder to like meta game, I guess, because there's so many more options out there. Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and like even just sideboarding, could get just kind of nuts.
Yeah,
I love it.
Set one, like having one set, it's so tight that it's like you play against something 90% of the time you can call exactly what they're about to play. It's like now we're doubling the card pool. It's gonna be a lot harder for players to. I mean, not that much harder, but as we get more sets, it gets even harder and harder.
Yep. All right, let's move on to some Convo Lab questions. We have a channel in our Discord where people can drop questions for the cast. This question is from Loopy. He asked, with the upcoming Set 2 supply issues, how are you handling getting product? Are you paying double, triple MSRP? So obviously there was some news this week where Asmodee canceled some pre-orders and everybody melted down in a classic TCG panic, as communities like these are just, it's so predictable sometimes.
It really
there
is,
should be a bingo card for
just
for
every set, just game's dead. That's just the bingo option there.
Yeah. So any reactions to the news or just how you're thinking about supply in general?
I pre-ordered in my local game store. If I'm going to get what they let me get, and if I can't get more, I'll get it whenever it comes. I'm not going to pay insane prices.
Yeah, pretty much that. I mean,
it's just
you don't need to. You don't need to. I guess first off, with the Asmodee like canceling pre-orders, like that sucks. Like I think the communication around that is probably just needs to be better, and it's not very good. There must have been some kind of miscommunication between whoever knows how much product they had available to sell and whoever actually put it up for sale. And then there needs to be better communication to the community about when they mess up and how they're going to fix it, because it seems pretty random, like who got their orders canceled and who didn't. Like I bought 3 boxes through their platform because I saw that there was some promo that you could get with it. And I was like, oh, if it's a card, I want a play set of them, so I'll get 3 boxes. And I didn't get mine canceled. So I don't know why mine wasn't canceled and other people's were. I don't know if anybody knows, but having clarity on something like that it goes a long way with the community.
They probably saw your Glee episode and said, we can't cancel on a celebrity.
It would be bad. Yeah, exactly. That was 100% it. But yeah, I mean, I have boxes / cases pre-ordered at 2 different local game stores to support both, and hedge depending on which store gets more. One might get their full allocation, one might not. So I don't know. I always recommend going through your local store if the prices are reasonable. If they're charging like $200 a box, like don't buy from them.
Nope.
But fortunately, the game stores in my area are very reasonable when it comes to prices, even for hot games.
How much do you think everything that happened with Lorcana is affecting people with Set 2 for Star Wars Limited? Do you think just the whole just supply shortage and just how everything went down with scalpers, you think that makes people more panicked for Star Wars?
I don't know if it's because of Lorcana. I think that is a thing in TCGs and has always been a thing in TCGs. I think the recency of Lorcana maybe has that more fresh in people's minds. And I also think that Set 2 is going to get bought up a lot faster than Set 1 was because of how hot Set 1 was. And it seems like the print run's basically the same between Set 1 and Set 2.
In addition to the fact that they're doing it in waves this time, so like the upfront amount that is going to be available to the public is going to be less than the upfront amount than Set 1.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to sell fast.
If you can pre-order product somewhere, like do it if you want to get cards, because I could see this product getting sold through like extremely quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, now like people who aren't playing are going to step in and try to buy boxes too, right? Like speculators are going to come in and try and make money like they always do. Nothing you can do to stop that.
Yeah.
Just got to be smart.
It does seem like when Set 3 comes, we're not going to have this issue because they were able to change in time. But yeah, I mean, just what you said, I would just double down. Like, if you can pre-order somewhere for a reasonable price, do it. I currently only have 1 box pre-ordered from a digital source because I want to save my money for my local game shops, and they haven't been able to post pre-orders yet. So I heard I saw in our Chicago area SWU Discord that there's a couple shops that aren't getting their allocation numbers till the end of June. Which I'm like, that's close. That sounds crazy. And a lot of shops, they don't want to have to cancel orders. They don't want you to be like, oh, I ordered and then actually wait to cancel on you. Like, that looks bad on them
looks
too.
Really
so
bad. It sucks for everybody when that happens, and especially for retail stores.
But it feels like, man, if you can support your local shop who's treating their customers well, who's building local community, that will lead to a longer game. So buy local as much as you possibly can. Unless it feels like they're exploiting you and your wallet,
and then
which
hopefully you have somewhere else to play instead.
Yeah. So it'll be weird too. And even I was even thinking like, because we're gonna be at Gen Con and we're doing some like drafts and some stuff. I did sort of wonder. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the like booths are gonna be like with product, and
it's gonna be another Lorcana.
I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. I ain't doing it.
No,
sorry,
I'm not doing it either.
Sorry, Xander,
I'll bring you whatever cards you need for whatever decks you want to play.
I tell you what,
we're not waking up any earlier than like 8 a.m.
Listen, I'm just saying, if Xander is in charge of that line, there would be an efficient line. There would be donuts and coffee, and I don't know, there would be, but not doing it. All right, I'm gonna read this next question because they put so much effort into wording this that I want to acknowledge it and just appreciate it. So it's a little bit longer, but you'll understand why. So this question is from Hubba Bubba Fett.
It's a great name.
Which is what a name. By the way, my 6-year-old and 4-year-old think Boba Fett's name is Bubba Fett, and I haven't corrected them because I think that's hilarious. So here with the serious question. I've been obsessed with this game since I found out about it roughly 6 months before release. I used to play the Naruto CCG back in the day, Young Jedi when I was a wee lad. However, none of my other friends were into collectible card games, but most of my friends are mild to severely nerdy, and I was able to convince 10 of them to do a draft tournament with me, and we've actually managed to do it twice. I bought prizes and everything, and it turned out awesome. The problem is only one other friend is obsessed with the game like me, and 2 other friends are pretty into the game. How do I force friends and loved ones to play more? And this is, here we go. Get ready. Should I use the power of the dark side and threaten them? Or might they have a change of heart through my displays of vigilance and devotion? If you could please make an opening in your podcast to consider this question, I would love to take down notes on any suggestions. Thanks. Love the pod.
That's so good.
Nice. You got to acknowledge that there's effort here, and just, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yep. Well done.
That's awesome.
Well done.
I would say, you threaten them.
Jay's using the power of the dark side.
Tell them to sit down and play. It's like isn't there like an animated movie where you're forced to like play chess or something? Oh no, it was.
Isn't it War Games?
No,
Hunger Games.
Space. Well, there's that Space Jam. He's forced to.
Forced to play basketball
for all eternity.
Yeah,
but he's
forced
got
to
like
lose.
shackles on. Yeah,
it's good.
it would be like that for them. It's like you force them for all eternity to play you in Star Wars Unlimited, but they have to always lose.
Nailed it.
That's awesome.
Nailed it. I mean,
I don't have any friends, so I don't know.
Your friends you started a podcast with, and you do YouTube. So
they're fortunately already obsessed. I mean, I guess my answer then is find people who are obsessed.
Yeah.
Instead of
Go
force
to
your friends to be obsessed.
Yeah.
Go to the local nights, meet people there, and play with them. And
I do think like exposure is good. So if you're having success hosting these draft nights and game nights and people are having fun, keep doing that. Eventually people will catch on and want to play more. But with something like this, it's like you can't force people. You gotta just let it happen organically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are many stories of husbands and wives who would be TCG players, but are not. Mm-hmm. This is a similar situation. You can't force somebody to enjoy playing something.
All right. I think that's enough Star Wars Unlimited content. I want to leave a couple minutes to talk about Acolyte reactions.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So for those of you who haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, this is our farewell.
Go away. Get out.
Thanks for being here. We'll catch you in the next one. And those who want to hear our thoughts on Acolyte, here we go. So
welcome to Unplayable, the after party. The Acolyte after
We should
party.
do this every episode. We should have an after party within the episode. Except I need a drink really badly after this week, so.
Remember the after party at Worlds 2017, Jay, where we was that Worlds or was that a regional for Destiny where we played basketball in the pool?
Well, the after party was during the event party for me after I dropped. But yeah, that was
2018. That wasn't that same
2018.
Because Mike was there. Mike wasn't.
Yeah, I was there.
One.
I wasn't playing basketball with you guys, but I was there.
No, you were definitely there. I only went
there.
to one Worlds for Destiny.
Yeah. I do remember buying way too many drinks for people at that bar. Thinking
Mike
that the
stayed at a
Chiefs-
different
Yeah, I stayed at a different hotel than you guys.
hotel.
Yeah. I expected the drinks to be cheap because it's Minnesota and it's some random city in Minnesota, but they were expensive drinks.
Yeah.
I spent
were
like
not
$400 or
cheap.
$500 on drinks that night.
Oh my gosh.
It was an accident.
Yeah. All I remember is dunking on Sir Christopher in the pool, and that was some good times.
That's insane. How did you dunk on Chris? He's
I don't
like
know.
6'2".
That was
6'3".
Well, and Kanan Jarrus, Caleb,
Yeah, he's
there
tall.
too. He's also tall. I was a short
He's taller
Yeah,
than Chris.
David's barely taller than me.
Yeah.
Well, see, I used the force sleep thing that Mike wanted.
Yeah.
to do.
That's right.
And Space Jam
just need to be
is
in
my
a
favorite
pool.
movie of all time. So did the Michael Jordan stretch
Space Jam
hand
is
thing.
great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, aren't we
Not
supposed
Space
to talk
Jam
about the
2.
Acolyte right now?
Yes.
I don't acknowledge that Space Jam 2 exists.
I've never seen it, but it looks awful.
Yeah. I tried to watch it and I turned it off. It was,
Yeah.
Welcome to the Space Jam
Yeah.
review party.
That'll be next week. All right, so Acolyte. So Carrie Ann Moss, the old Matrix Trinity, just got wrecked, man. The opening scene just.
died
I
within
wouldn't
the
say
first scene.
wrecked. That's not the terminology. I would
Well,
use.
she died. I feel
She
like
got tricked.
Yeah, she. I don't know if dying is not being wrecked, then I don't know what wrecked is.
It's
got
the method by which you meet your demise that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other Jedi Master drinking poison was not
He did
being
not get
wrecked,
wrecked,
or
no.
he did not get wrecked.
No.
Did he wreck himself? I don't.
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. All right. Got it.
I would say getting wrecked is like the magnitude at which you are defeated or destroyed. It's like,
Got it.
you got beat 30-0. You got wrecked.
All right. So Anakin in the desert with the Tuskens, they got wrecked.
Yes,
They got wrecked.
Yes,
Yeah. They got
wrecked.
wrecked.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
The
Just wanna make sure
monsters,
we're
I'm-
clear
the
on vocabulary.
monsters got wrecked by Toon Squad.
But they only lost by 2 points.
Right.
Come on.
Only after they drank the magic magic formula or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But before that, the Toon Squad was getting wrecked. So
Yes.
All right. I need to pause for a second.
okay,
Here we go.
You guys can keep going if you need to.
no, it's fine.
No, wait.
All right.
While you were gone, my Asmodee pre-order got canceled. So I guess scratch what I said earlier about mine not being canceled because it is now canceled.
So, Trinity got murdered. Not wrecked, but murdered.
Very quickly.
I was not happy about that because I thought she was going to be a really cool character in the show. But, I mean, it doesn't bother me plot-wise. I just wanted more of that character.
If anything, it seems like a bit of a marketing blunder to like push her as a cast member so hard.
Super
when
hard
she
in the
was
trailers.
in 5 minutes of the series, but
But the
they could do
theory-
flashbacks.
Yeah, because
She could be in those flashbacks.
there are moments from the the marketing of her in other scenes that we
Okay,
didn't
that we
see.
haven't seen yet.
So I'm pretty sure we will see whatever that big event from the past.
Whatever fire that happened that they're all ashamed about.
Yeah. Well, Soul doesn't act like he's ashamed. He acts like he didn't know what happened,
story.
even though he's included in the 4 that she wants to murder. Do you think he actually knows what is going on?
I don't know.
Because he
It's a
acts
good
like
question.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's the kind of person, or his character is the kind of person that wouldn't be able to go on with that knowledge. He would go exile himself or something kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Like the Wookiee did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's not in the inn.
Yeah, he might not be.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I love
Like,
that
and he
character
like he
too.
discovers the news somehow.
Yeah, and he like finds
Yeah.
out that the other three did something,
Yep.
and May thinks that he was in on it when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. That'd
And
be
then it turns
interesting.
her against him, and then that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't get was like the whole like don't attack a Jedi with a weapon.
Okay, so I watched something that like was breaking down like Easter eggs and stuff like that from the episodes, and what they mentioned was in a comic, like a Vader comic, like right after Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine made Vader do the same thing, basically kill a Jedi without a lightsaber, like without a weapon. And I guess it's theoretically it's potentially like
Like a Sith thing.
Yeah, like a Sith thing, sort of that basically means that you're strong enough to become an apprentice and sort of like take
Okay.
that next step. Is like that's sort of part of like the Sith trials or whatever, if you call it that. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I saw on that thing. So
That checks out. Because she was like,
could see
don't
it.
tell him,
Right.
don't tell him that I,
yeah.
Yeah.
But she also like she doesn't seem completely like evil, taken over by the dark side, because like she spared that bartender and his kid, right? Like when she killed Trinity. I'm just gonna keep calling her Trinity. I don't know what her actual Jedi name is, but so like she's not like some ruthless like murderer. Like you compare her to like you guys saw Tales of the Empire, the Inquisitor that was with Barriss that just like completely thrashed everybody in that whole town basically.
Yeah, she wrecked.
Yes, she wrecked all those people. So I don't know. This feels different. Like obviously she's not like fully a Sith. Like she isn't fully consumed by the dark side, but she obviously can use the dark side of the Force, right? So it feels like they might be playing with the dynamic between Osha and May, and like which one's going to end up being good and bad.
Are they a dyad in the Force?
That's another speculation,
Interesting.
and
okay.
maybe they are. I mean,
All right.
like Palpatine in the movie and Rise of Skywalker says like hasn't been seen in generations or whatever. Like maybe this is the story of like the Force dyads that existed before Rey and Kylo. I don't know.
Cool.
Would be cool.
My favorite character is I don't know how to say his name. The apothecary,
Oh,
drug
yes.
dealer,
Yeah.
guy, Kamir or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know his name in the show, but
The main reason is because he
He's in
plays
The Good
Jason in The
Place.
Good Place, and I'm just
Jason
waiting
Mendoza.
for him to go Bortles rules. Like go Jags, obviously. I'm like literally like smiling when he's on screen. Like, what are you gonna say?
Oh,
What are you
he's
gonna
great. When I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, "Is that the guy from The Good Place?" And we were both like, "I don't know if it is," because he does a really good job of playing the character he's playing in the Acolyte.
He's a very good actor.
And we had to look it up, and it was like, "That is the same dude." And
Yeah.
I love him. He's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
The main character, the main girl, is Rue from Hunger Games. She does a really good
you're
job.
right. Yeah. Okay.
And then Soul is the main character from
Yeah,
Squid Game.
Games. Yeah.
And he's much better in this than he was in Squid Games. Not that he was bad in Squid Games. He doesn't play a character that suited his style of acting, I feel like. But he's great in this.
Yeah,
so
he's
far.
awesome.
Absolutely great.
Probably my favorite character from the show so far.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
You mentioned to us that he learned
He didn't know English.
for the role, which is wild.
He did not know English at all. He was only
Absolutely crazy.
lived in Korea and did Korean movies, and that was it.
So crazy.
That's
That's got to be
wild.
so hard.
Yeah, like flip it around. I mean, can you go learn
Yeah,
Korean
no,
to go
I could not.
play in Korea?
I could not. Yeah.
Wild.
Super
Yeah,
crazy.
love the choreography, all the fights, all of that was just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's cool to see more Jedi combat in live action
Yeah.
because
100%.
we don't get a lot of that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I feel like all of the fight scenes in the show so far have been really, really cool and unique. It almost feels like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Like with like the wire work and stuff like that. And in the scene with like the opening fight scene of the show when they like would
The way she jumps
speed the
up
camera
the-
up and slow the camera down so that it was like, you could tell that they were using the Force to maneuver around and stuff like that. It was super cool.
What do you think about seeing a Wookiee Jedi?
That I'm very
can't
excited
wait.
about. Yeah, excited to
can't
see that
wait.
in live action.
Yeah,
Not enough of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just thinking about how strong, like, yeah, can May really kill a Wookiee Jedi? Is that going to happen?
Well,
In the RPG, well, this doesn't have really pertain that much to it, but in Legends, Wookiee's fur would get so dense that a lightsaber couldn't even cut through it.
that's interesting.
It's like Beskar armor.
Just Wookiee armor.
Yeah.
Just their fur. That's super. I did not know that.
But no, I don't see how she kills a.
She'll probably have to find some clever way to do it, like with Torben or whatever his name was, right? Like,
Yeah, the poison.
Forced him to drink the poison himself. Like, there's got to be some twist.
Well, we see in the trailer that when all the Jedi line up, when the red lightsaber comes, he's still there. So he must fight against the Sith guy too.
I almost don't trust trailers anymore to show me actual, like, I'm like, is that scene even in Acolyte? I mean,
There's been a lot of that where they show you something
Especially
in
in
the trailer
Star
and it's not in
Wars.
it. Yeah, especially in Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah. But overall, you guys were fans?
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I really like it.
I'm 9 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was entertained. I'm sure we're going to be getting comments of the narrative critique that we're missing.
Stay out of here. No, it's great. It's fun. I'm like so excited that it is a brand new time period in Star Wars where they don't feel like they have to do all these callbacks to a bunch of random things that you don't actually care about.
Technically, like Yoda's still alive, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we could see
Yoda's still alive. We could still see that, of course. I'm
Yaddle.
expecting to see Yoda. Honestly, I'm expecting to see Yoda.
Yes,
but
And Yaddle.
like like in these first 2 episodes, there was nowhere near as much like garbage nonsense fan service as there have been in other Star Wars media, and that excites me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we would be able to see in this from movies that we've had? I can't think of anything.
I don't know. It was cool to see the Trade Federation guys. And their
That
like
was
little shit.
funny.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's probably some
have
huts
been
running
reading-
around. Yeah.
I have been reading more like High Republic comic series, so
Yeah.
but the thing that confuses me is because they jump around these different time frames, and so I even watching Acolyte, I'm like, I don't know where this is compared to some of the 2 major events that have happened in that phase. So I found out afterwards that it's after.
Yeah. So the Acolyte is 100 years before the Phantom Menace, and then I think like Light of the Jedi, which is like the first book in the High Republic stuff. I think that's like 400 years before,
Holy
or something like that. It's
So
a lot.
Way far. So like
Not
Avar
400. I don't think
Chris-
it's 400.
Yeah, Avar
even
Kriss is like
exist.
way before. But Vernestra, which was the Mirielon, like the green alien Jedi, she was in some of that stuff. I don't know exactly like what time period, but so she's been around for a really long time.
I'm a little sus about her.
Yeah, oh for sure.
I'm very sus
For
about
sure.
her.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is like the thing that I was watching was sort of mentioning.
Was she one of the 4?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But it is perhaps exploring how the Jedi Order became the Jedi Order that is deceived by the Sith in a way,
Yeah.
Like
It's very
getting
cool to
more
see
into
all that.
politics and like kind of seeing how they have,
I think it's been interesting to see that side of the Jedi.
I saw, I don't know who posted this, but I saw a really funny meme that was basically like, I don't know why, but Qui-Gon Jinn and Soul would probably be friends. And then it had like an image of them, like where Soul was like, yeah, I was right on the heels of this like murderer and they called me back to Coruscant. And Qui-Gon Jinn's like, you're telling me I told them I fought a Sith Lord and they didn't even believe me?
yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is good.
it's awesome.
That's funny. Yeah.
I'm very excited
I'm
for the
good.
next one.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one too. So
How many episodes are there? Do you guys know?
8 probably.
It's not enough.
That's what they've been doing.
It's not enough.
Yeah, they were short episodes too. They weren't like an
they're
hour
30
long.
minutes.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yep. Because they need to do the Andor stuff. Like Andor was like 15 or 16, wasn't it?
It was at least
Or am I
12.
making that up?
I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were long episodes, and they were amazing. And that show
Yeah.
is
Less
goat.
lightsabers, maybe less budget. I don't know.
sure.
So, all right. Well, this has been a long one, but I enjoyed this. This was fun, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.